everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I am here with the very first layout using my Reset Girl kit, and this is the Refresh collection. It is the collection that was released in March 2018, and it is primarily the Happy Girl kit, but then I added a couple products from the shop to make this page. Or actually just added a couple of products to what I purchased this month for my kit review. So this one is actually going to be a Mother's Day themed layout, and these photos are all from Mother's Day of 2016. So there's just a couple pictures of us out at lunch. There's a couple pictures of us just, going on a walk in the afternoon that day. But it was what drew me to these pictures in this collection together in particular were the bright colors. So this kit is very springy looking, at least to me, and it really has some bright, beautiful colors. And I always feel like around, April, May is when we spend a lot of time outside because it's not quite hot yet, but it's also definitely not cold anymore. So we really get a lot of good outside time, and I felt like this kit was had really bright, colorful elements to it that worked really, really well with like spring-ish types of photos. So I'm just kind of going through the cards here, and these are the cards that I printed at home, the digital downloads that I got, and I'm just trying to sort through what I want to use. I definitely want to use that little girl on the top, like on my title card, I suppose you could say, because I really thought she was a really cute graphic, and since this was a Mother's Day themed layout, I thought this was the perfect time to actually use that girl. I don't always have a lot of photos of myself to scrapbook, so this layout is really based around me, though there's only one photo of me, but it's really about Mother's Day itself, so I thought that would be the perfect day to use the card with the girl on it. So I did pull out a couple of additional pages to use with this kit, and these are actually from, let's see, I'm trying to remember what, this is the Simple Stories, though I don't actually use them on this particular layout, but it's a Simple Stories 12 by 12 paper pack, but the blue that I used here, which is really kind of the only piece of paper that I use in addition to the kit, is actually just a scrap that I had on my desk. But since this kit is really just Project Life and there's a lot more stickers and not a whole lot of additional elements other than stickers and then the cards that I printed, I did pull out a couple of papers from my stash that coordinated with the colors of this kit to keep on hand just in case, especially if I decide to do a 12 by 12 layout, which I will do one. It's just later on. I think it's the third layout I did was actually a 12 by 12 layout. So I wanted to kind of see how these products would work with a 12 by 12 layout, but since it doesn't come with 12 by 12 papers, I have to include a couple of different things from my stash just to make it work. I did add a few things to this kit. Of course, you see that I use scraps, but I'm also here trimming down these cards to fit into the Project Life page protectors, and I used a We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, which you never actually see on film because I kind of keep it out of the view, but that is what I actually use to round the edges on those cards. I am very much a consistent scrapbooker when it comes to how I lay out my Project Life pages. I always have squared corners on all the 4x6 pockets, and I always pretty much use the Design A page protector unless I'm doing a different insert. But I always use the squared corners on the 4x6 pockets, and I always have a white border around those. I print my photos with the white border, but if it's a card that is like a filler card, as you could see on this Happy Mother's Day card, I actually matted that scrap paper and that card on a white piece of cardstock just to kind of give it that same consistent white border. And then in the middle row, I always trim down the cards just to make sure that they fit in all the Project Life pockets, and I round those corners, and I am very, very consistent throughout my album. I just don't like being able to, I don't mind rounded corners and squared corners mixed. As you can see, I do it on every single layout, but what I don't like is where you have a rounded corner on one side, and then on the layout on the opposite side, you may have a squared corner, so you can see that squared corner behind the rounded corner, and that bugs me to no end. So in order to make sure that I don't have to always figure out if the other set's going to have a rounded corner or a squared corner, I just make all of the 3x4 cards with rounded corners, and I hope that makes sense. I don't always describe, explain that, but that's exactly how I scrapbook. So I pulled out these LE Studio letters and numbers stickers in white, and I'm actually putting my title in those, and these are so awesome. I love that there are a million different options, letter options on here, and I still have a lot of letters to work with. If I run out of a letter, you still have a lot of other letters, so you have a much more likely chance of being able to manipulate another letter to make it look like the letter that you're out of if you need to. So luckily I didn't actually have to manipulate any letters for this particular title, but it has happened before, and letter stickers are very easy to manipulate if you need to. As you could see, as I was going through, I was grabbing a couple things from the sticker sheet. I grabbed this really, really beautiful floral and used that sticker just to kind of be part of my title. And then I also pulled out a page flag and a hexagon on that top corner. Now these puffy heart stickers, I tried to find a link to them online, but I couldn't find one. But the puffy heart stickers are actually from it's the Sticko brand. It's their everyday stickers line, and it's just puffy hearts. But I couldn't find them anywhere online to link for you. But I'm sure I got them at Walmart. So I'm sure if you go to Walmart or if you just look for anywhere that basic cheap stickers are sold, you'll probably find some sort of version of some hearts. And I just kind of grabbed the puffy hearts because I thought that they would work with this layout. They had a pink that's very similar to the pink on some of these journaling cards. So I had originally put down a heart sticker from the Whimsy Arrows and Banners sticker sheet, which is my absolute favorite, but I replaced it with that puffy heart just to give a little bit more dimension to that top card instead of it being all completely flat. Now, in addition to pulling out the papers, the 12 by 12 papers to use with this kit to have some variation, I also pulled out a few additional things just to add some dimension. I pulled out some wood veneer, which are not going to make it on this layout, but then I also pulled out some acrylic pieces, which I am going to use one of those acrylic pieces here in a moment. Now, this stamping on a photo is very, very new to me, and I don't even have any StazOn ink to do this with, but I pulled out my paper tray ink in Smoky Shadow and actually stamped the word ride down there using my LE Studio Jonah Alpha stamp, and I absolutely love it. I stamped right on the road in the picture. This is a picture of Kalen riding his bike. I stamped right on the road, and I just let it dry for the entire layout. I have to be very, very careful to make sure that I didn't knock it or anything like that, but I will kind of like rub a piece of paper over it in a moment to kind of get the excess ink off of it, just so the likelihood of it smearing would be much less. But you can definitely use StazOn ink and that would dry almost instantly and you wouldn't have to worry about that. But obviously I've never really stamped on photos, so this really hasn't been a problem in the past. But I really like the look of it. So since it's a picture of him riding his bike, I just put the word ride using that alpha stamp, and then I just used some LE Studio Tile Alphas in gray, which kind of play off the grays and the girl's sweater on that title card. And then I also have a black and white photo on this layout as well, so it kind of pulled in a little bit of the gray tones from there. But it just says just, so it says just ride. And I stamped it along the edge of like the street on the photos because it gave me a very clean, crisp line. And I don't really know what prompted me to do that. Just something, said, you know what, just go ahead and stamp on that. And I thought it looked great. So I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. Now, there are a lot of shapes and a lot of like little bits and pieces on all of these sticker sheets, and I'm really using those to embellish. There's not a whole lot of icons per se. It's more so like banners and stars and hearts and hexagons and circles and arrows, which I absolutely love. I think it embellishes without distracting. Sometimes I feel like you can add a lot to a layout and it ends up distracting from the actual card or picture itself. So I feel like these are really nice elements to add without just kind of taking over the picture or the layout itself. Now, there was another like decorative sticker. There's only a couple decorative stickers on these sticker sheets, but there was another one that had 2 pairs, and it said quite the pair. So I put that on that photo of Ernest and Kaylin, the black and white photo. And then there was also a sticker, kind of like a title for the collection, and it said refresh, and it said something under that, but I actually just wrote a little bit of journaling on a piece of white cardstock and just trimmed it out and layered that right over. I think it said March 2018 or something like that. Maybe it said refresh March 2018 challenge or something like that, but I just layered a piece of journaling over that. So it says refresh, it says and refresh, lovely time with family. So I thought that was kind of a nice way to play up that filler card without just leaving it as the simple ampersand sign. If I haven't mentioned this already, which I know I did, but I just want to re-emphasize how much I really love the colors in this kit. There were a few things that seem a little odd to me, and I think it's because my printer is not the best printer, and I mentioned this again, I think I mentioned this already. I think I mentioned it in the unboxing video, how my printer is not the best quality printer, and if anybody has any suggestions for printers that really work well with printing your own journaling cards or printing your own stickers, I would absolutely love to create and print my own stickers. Now I know I want to get a Silhouette machine sometime in the future. I tried to buy one and then I paid for it and then the store decided not to carry them anymore, so they had to refund my money, and then I just was never able to purchase another one. I think I just got, discouraged by that and ended up not purchasing it. But I need to get a new printer before I really do any print and cutting, because my printer really, it's got to be at least 10 years old, and it really just does not print the best. It's kind of grainy when it prints. It works okay, but it's really not to the quality that I would want if I'm printing my own stickers. So anybody who has any suggestions for any good sticker paper to purchase to print on, because I would want to print on sticker paper just for the ease of use, and then also a good printer to use, one that's not going to be absolutely insane to buy ink for all the time. So let me know, especially if you guys print and cut your own stickers, please let me know what you use, because I have no idea, like clearly no idea. This is not my forte, so I am open to any suggestions from you. Now I have this stamp set, which I absolutely love, and I really wish I could buy like 3 or 4 of these and give them away, but it's a Gossamer Blue stamp set and they no longer have them, at least not from my understanding. I'll have to check that to be sure. I know they don't do kits and stuff anymore, but I'm pretty sure the whole shop shut down, but I might have to confirm that. But this is a planner stamp set from Gossamer Blue, and it has all these little journaling lines that I'm assuming are supposed to fit like in a box and a planner, but since I don't use them for planners, I just use them on journaling cards, and I think they make the best little journaling lines. You're able to kind of fit a lot of journaling in without it taking over a card. Like there's still a lot of white space on that card itself, and I could still kind of embellish a little bit. My cards are kind of all over the place. I just got to straighten them out and kind of take a look and then determine if I'm done. I think I am. Just going to clean up a little bit as it kind of sits and I sit here and look at it, but I absolutely love how bright and cheerful this layout is. I love how much white space there is, but I also feel like it balances well with the photos as well as the bright colors. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions, and I can't wait to share the next video with you. I've already made it and I cannot wait. All right guys, thank you so much. Bye.